This is Steve. In just one video, we have a headless figure walking through the real world, a female spirit appearing at night with her head twisted upside down, and a young woman suddenly showing a demonic face in front of hundreds of live stream viewers. Do you think this is all staged, or is something actually watching us? And before the video begins, I need to warn you. Some of the footage you're about to see only needs to be slowed down for a few seconds to be enough to keep people awake at night. Yes, and this time it's London. A familiar street. No fog, no shadowy angles. The camera captures a man walking along the sidewalk, carrying himself exactly like a proper English gentleman. Dark coat, light-colored pants, polished shoes. But there is one detail that causes all logic to fall apart. There is no sign of his head. Honestly, the moment I realized that detail, I caught myself holding my breath. There is nothing graphic about it, just a body walking as if everything is perfectly fine. And that normalcy is what makes it disturbing. He doesn't stumble. He even appears to be holding something, like a notebook or a thin briefcase. Some comments try to make light of it, joking that they would like to meet this man after death, because he looks like a messenger from hell casually strolling through London. And I can't help but wonder, if you were the one sitting in that car, seeing this with your own eyes, would you stop to check, or quietly drive away and pretend you never saw anything at all? Around the same time, a similar incident occurred, but this time on a street in the United States. A man is walking through a parking lot in front of a row of stores. Taxi signs are visible, road markings are clear, cars and pedestrians move about like normal. But just like the previous footage, the man's head appears to be missing entirely from the frame. What is going on here? It looks like Halloween, yet the storefronts show no decorations at all. What's even stranger is that people nearby don't seem to react. Another person pushes a cart past him, as if nothing is out of the ordinary. It makes me wonder whether something is happening that only the camera can see. And I really want to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is just an optical illusion? Or have you heard of strange cases where a person's head seems to vanish from normal view? Leave a comment, because from here on out, things only get harder to explain. At first, I thought this was just a normal vlog. A beautiful young woman, dressed confidently, live streaming and chatting casually with her viewers. Then, within seconds, something feels off. She starts slapping her head repeatedly, hard, not playfully. It feels like something inside her is causing real discomfort. The moment that truly gave me chills is when she opens her eyes. The dark pupils are gone. In their place is a cloudy gray-white color, cold and empty. A shade I have never seen occur naturally. Then something even harder to believe happens. She closes her eyes, opens them again, and they are back to normal, dark as if nothing ever happened. If this were a filter, why would the change be so abrupt and crude? I can't say for sure what this is, but the thought of a skinwalker, or something that managed to take control for just a few brief seconds, makes it impossible for me to watch this clip calmly. And now I have to warn you. This is the footage I hesitated over for a long time before deciding to include it in today's episode. Think carefully about whether you want to continue if you're not sure you can handle it. This video is said to have been recorded in Spain, where a vlogger who explores paranormal locations broke into an abandoned house at night. The air is damp, the silence almost suffocating. And then, the camera captures this. Look closely. A body floating in midair, as if suspended by an invisible force. But the detail that makes my blood run cold is the head. It is completely upside down, attached at an angle that should not be possible for any human being. The face is pale, smooth, and lifeless, with deep black eyes staring straight into the lens. It reminds me of Ghostface, but a female version and far more real, far closer. I find myself wanting to analyze where the wires might be, what angle could be tricking the eye, yet at the same time, I can't look away from that face. There is a very clear feeling that whatever this is it knows it's being recorded. But this time, I honestly don't know what category this video belongs in. No title, no description, no clear context. The camera only captures a teenage girl standing in a dim, shadowy space, with lighting so weak that every detail feels slightly off. From the very first second, her face made me pause the video. Take a close look at that skin. Pale, rough, blotchy, like the surface of a concrete wall left damp for far too long. Her eyes are distorted, hollow, with no clear focus, as if they were placed there just to resemble eyes. And when she moves, it gets even more unsettling. The motion is slow, stiff, each step like a machine running out of sync. I don't know how you feel about it, but to me, this doesn't look like someone dressed up as a demon. It looks like a human body being controlled, like a corpse pulled straight out of hell, or something experimenting with how this form is supposed to function. If this is visual effects, then the level of detail is far too high for a video with no known source. But if it's real, then the far more terrifying question is this: where is this thing in the real world right now? This one starts off very calmly. A young guy is live streaming, relaxed voice, cheerful expression, nothing about the atmosphere feels off. Everything plays out like an ordinary, everyday moment, until he turns the camera toward a friend sleeping beside him. For just 2 or 3 seconds, the camera captures the face of a woman. And I'll be honest, this is not a face you expect to see during a normal live stream. Pale skin, sunken eyes, a slightly open mouth in a way that feels deeply wrong, like something trying to exist but not fully belonging to this frame. What really gets under my skin is how fast it disappears, instantly, leaving behind nothing but empty space. And you know it's moments like these that unsettle me the most, because your brain doesn't have time to convince itself that it imagined things. Let me know your very first reaction when you saw it. The next video is said to have been recorded inside a toy factory that was abandoned a very long time ago. The place is filled with strange figures, possibly robots, possibly dolls. The person filming isn't entirely sure, but one thing is clear. Their condition alone is enough to make anyone uneasy. These figures are designed like clowns, with wide open eyes and stiff, twisted smiles. They stand silently in the darkness, covered in dust, looking like they've been forgotten for years. But then, something truly frightening happens. As the cameraman steps closer, he notices that the eyes of these dolls begin to move on their own. They slowly shift from side to side, as if tracking every step of the person standing in front of them. That sight alone is enough to send a chill down anyone's spine. If it were me, I know I wouldn't have the courage to stand there for even one more second. There have long been rumors that dolls, robots, and artificial figures are especially easy to become haunted. Many believe that spirits choose them as vessels, quietly watching, waiting, and never truly leaving. If you're still skeptical, the next video makes things even harder to explain. Security camera footage captures the moment a man steps back into his home. Sitting quietly beside the front door is a doll, its head bowed, like an ordinary decorative object. But just a few seconds later, the doll's head suddenly snaps around, moving with such force and precision that it feels like something yanked it from the inside. Its empty eyes lock directly onto the man, as if it had been waiting for this exact moment. Acting purely on instinct, the large man jolts backward and immediately swings his arm, knocking the doll hard onto the floor. The movement is fast, frantic, with no hesitation at all, as if he had just faced a real threat. And that reaction is what truly makes this footage terrifying. This isn't a prank. This is fear, the kind that hits when someone knows, deep down, that something just looks straight at them. After the footage of dolls moving on their own, this video delivers a quieter but deeply unsettling kind of fear. A young woman stands in her bedroom, filming herself in front of a mirror. At first, nothing seems out of place. She looks directly into the camera, and the mirror behind her reflects everything exactly as it should. A few seconds later, the reflection in the mirror turns its head to look at her, while the woman herself remains completely still. A disturbing disconnect appears, as if the reflection has become someone else, a living entity of its own. If this was staged, then the timing was calculated down to the exact second. But if it wasn't, then there's only one question left. Is the thing looking at her from inside the mirror really her at all? Which side do you lean toward? Just when you're still trying to process the doppelganger moments, this video pushes things into an even more uncomfortable territory. In front of the camera is a young boy playing around, bright eyes, a wide, innocent smile, the kind of expression every carefree child has. He presses both hands against his cheeks, giggling. Everything about him looks normal and harmless. But then that smile starts to stretch far beyond what it should. The corners of his mouth pull wider, his jaw opens at an unnatural angle, his face visibly warping in just a few short seconds. His eyes darken, hollow out, losing every trace of childhood joy. The lighting shifts, his skin tone deepens, and his features grow rough and distorted, as if something is peeling away a layer of human skin. At this point, it no longer feels like a joke or a playful effect. It feels like the moment you realize whatever is looking back at you is no longer the child you saw at the beginning. And that's when the question hits. You see that transformation, don't you? But we're not done yet. This next video leaves viewers even more confused. The incident took place in China back in 2017 and spread at an unbelievable speed. A traffic camera captures a man riding a bicycle across an intersection late at night. A small truck comes speeding toward him, and a collision seems unavoidable. Just before impact, a dark shape suddenly appears, rushing straight into the crash zone at an impossible speed. In the blink of an eye, both the man and his bicycle completely vanish from the frame. The truck continues forward as if no one was ever there. And just a few seconds later, the dark shape and the man reappears safely on the side of the road. No explosion, no signs of impact, no logical explanation. I honestly felt like I was watching a scene straight out of a Marvel movie at this point. The entire event exists only in a video a little over 2 minutes long, and to this day, there has been no official explanation for what actually happened. This video brings us back to a fear that feels painfully real and close to home. Security footage shows a woman bending down to arrange items inside an empty room, with no sign of danger anywhere around her. And then, in a single instant, her body is violently yanked backward. She doesn't trip, she's dragged. If you watch closely, you can see her legs sliding across the tile floor, her arms flailing as if trying to grab onto something, completely helpless. What truly sends chills through me isn't the fall itself, but what happens immediately after. She turns her head in panic, eyes darting around as if searching for whoever just pulled her. But behind her, there's nothing the human eye can see. The feeling is exactly like an invisible hand grabbing her legs and slamming her to the floor. What do you think this is? An accident, a carefully staged trick, or a rare moment when something unseen accidentally revealed its presence? And that's not the only case. These invisible forces don't stop at doorways. Sometimes they reach straight into your bedroom. A young woman is asleep on a couch, her position completely normal, a scene every one of us has lived through after a long, exhausting day. Then suddenly, her legs shoot straight up, fast and forceful, like someone just grabbed her ankles and yanked them hard. What unsettles me isn't the first pull, but what comes after. Her body is lifted and dropped repeatedly, with movements that don't match the natural motions of someone half asleep. When she wakes up, her reaction doesn't look staged or acted out. It's real panic, confusion, fear, like someone who just realized something touched them. There is no one else in the room but her. I can't help but wonder, if this happened to me, would I have the nerve to stay in that room for even one more second? Is this just a sleep-related muscle jerk, or something that crossed a line we still believe is safe? And the more terrifying question is this: if the camera couldn't capture what pulled her, was it already standing there before it happened? I want you to pay close attention to this one. It's just a dark room and a half-open closet. Nothing unusual if you only glance at it. A girl holds her phone, turns on the flashlight, and slowly shines it into a narrow gap in the closet. The light moves carefully, hesitantly, like she's trying to convince herself she's overthinking things. But at the exact moment the beam hits that opening, two eyes appear and stare straight back out. If you were in that situation, what would you do? Quietly step back and pretend you never saw anything, or take one more step forward just to be sure you're not imagining it. The girl in the video chose the second option, and it's hard to tell whether that was courage or pure panic. As she begins to open the closet door, her hand shakes so badly the camera starts to violently tremble. The image blurs. The only sound left is her rapid breathing, and then a scream echoes through the room. From that moment on, we can't clearly see anything anymore. And here's the final question I want to leave you with. While watching this clip, did you instinctively glance back at your own closet? The next video drops us into a space that feels uncomfortably cold, silent, and empty, like it's been abandoned for a very long time. The person filming is standing outside, pointing the camera toward a window filled with thick, absolute darkness. When the footage is slowed down frame by frame, a face appears right behind the glass, completely still, staring straight at the person holding the camera. Its pale white color stands out sharply against the darkness, as if it doesn't belong to the space around it at all. If that were you in that moment, would you be calm enough to convince yourself it was just a reflection or a trick of the light? Or would you feel the same way I did, like those eyes were looking through the glass, waiting for a reaction from inside the room? Let me know what you think in the comments. This next video is believed to have been recorded in Indonesia, a place where stories of forest spirits and ancient entities have never been just folklore. The person filming claims that while walking through the woods at night, he spotted something standing among the trees, staring directly back at him. A dark figure, nearly blending into the tree trunks, with long hair hanging down, its face visible between damp, dew-covered branches. It just stands there, silent, as if it's been there for a long time, simply waiting to be seen. What truly unsettles me isn't its shape, but the feeling that it knows it's being filmed. In many Asian cultures, especially in Indonesia, people believe forest spirits don't need to attack. Letting you see them is enough to make sure you bring something home with you. If you were standing in that pitch-black forest, would you dare take one more step closer? Or would you turn around and run without looking back? The next footage takes us to a family's new house, a place that's supposed to represent fresh beginnings and peace of mind. But on the very first morning they moved in, they began to realize something was seriously wrong. It starts subtly. A ceiling light suddenly swings hard, even though there's no wind. A microwave flashes on and off, like someone just touched it. Before the family can even process what's happening, a framed picture on the wall suddenly crashes down right in front of them. And then comes the moment that leaves anyone frozen in place. The bathroom mirror shatters into pieces on its own, with no visible force behind it. The most disturbing part isn't any single event, but the way they happen one after another, as if something is slowly making it clear that this house was never truly empty. Strange things inside a home often begin with very small details, and this video is a perfect example. In broad daylight, inside a completely quiet room, a chandelier on the ceiling suddenly begins to sway. At first, it looks like an accidental nudge, but just a few seconds later, it starts swinging harder, more rhythmically, like someone up above is pushing it back and forth. What gives viewers chills is the fact that there's no wind, no movement below, and no sign of vibration in the ceiling. The longer you watch, the more it feels like whatever is affecting the light has no intention of stopping. If you were standing in that room, what would you do? Keep filming or step outside immediately before whatever's invisible decides to do more than just swing a light? And this final piece of footage closes out the list in a truly chilling way. Security camera footage shows a staircase completely empty late at night. No one appears. No unusual sounds can be heard. And yet, a wheelchair sitting on the upper landing begins to move. It trembles slightly, then suddenly slips out of place and tumbles down the stairs, step by step, like someone just let go of it. What made me replay this over and over is the moment right before it falls. There's no visible push, no shadow, no obstacle. Just absolute silence and a movement no one can explain. If this were your house, and you were watching this footage the next morning, what do you think was standing there in the darkness before that wheelchair started to roll? And that's everything we have for today's video. These clips could be coincidences. They could be staged. Or they could be moments where a camera accidentally captured something never meant to appear before human eyes. But the unease they leave behind is very real, and it might stick with you longer than you expect. If you've ever experienced something similar, or if you have your own explanation for what you just watched, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like if this video sent a chill down your spine even once, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the even more unbelievable footage coming up in future episodes.